Welcome everyone to part 2 of our image representation lesson. So in this video we're going to be talking about what pixels are. So we're going to change to my red pen. What pixels are. Pixels stands for picture element. So if you are asked in the exam what does the term pixel stand for, picture element is the correct answer. Now the reason why it's called picture element, basically it's the elements which make up a picture, kind of like the elements which make up a human body. Carbon, for example, all of the elements that make up any item, any physical item, it's from the same concept. A picture element, a pixel, is something that makes up a picture. Alright, now each pixel is a mix of these three different colors, red, green and blue. But do not get confused, because a pixel can only represent a single dot of color or a spot of color. It doesn't really matter how you phrase it, but a pixel is only capable of representing a single color. What it does is it uses these three colors, red, green and blue, and mixes them together to create any other color that is possible. So each of these three colors are made up, so we're now on this bullet point here, each of these three colors, red, green or blue, excuse me, are made up of 8-bit patterns. So when I say 8-bit pattern, I mean 8 zeros or ones in a row. So for example, it may be that 0 0 1 0 1 1 0 0. This entire 8-bit pattern represents a single red value, and then you'd have the same thing for blue and the same thing for green as well. So in total, each color is made up of 24 bits. Now when we're talking about 8-bit patterns, we can also represent this value as a decimal number, which is a value from 0 to 255, including 0 and 255. So if one of the values for red, for example, was set to all ones, like so, this same value can be represented in decimal by 255, like this, or in hexadecimal values with FF. Now, in graphic design, whenever you're using colors, it's very convenient to work with hex numbers, because they are the shortest form that you would have to write for any value, and they're very easy to remember. And if you look on the left hand side here, we have a color picker from Photoshop, but any photo or image editing software such as GIMP, for example, or Paint.net will have a similar color picker like this, which will have a color palette in it. And you can choose any color which you wish from this, and it will show you what the RGB values for that color are, and it will also show you the hexadecimal value for that color. The E6, for example, is representing the red, 230. The 29 is representing the 41, which is the green intensity, and the 23 is representing the 35 blue. So these are decimal numbers, these are hex, and excuse me, you wouldn't really find a binary representation with these color pickers, because it's too confusing for the user to work with binary numbers at this level. That's why we use a more sort of compact form like decimal or hexadecimal numbers. Okay, now your monitor on your screen is made up of small LED lights like this one, like these ones here. So you'll have, I've highlighted them in the wrong order, so let's start from the red one here and highlight the green in the end. So we have an R value, we have a blue value and a green value. So when your image is being represented on your monitor, when it's being shown on your monitor, so let's draw a simple image here, 2 by 2. So we have 2 pixels width and 2 pixels height. And then, for example, we could just paint this pixel here as red, and we could paint this pixel here as, you know, a very light version of blue, and we'll leave this one as white. So when you open up this image on your screen, what will happen is each pixel will be mapped to a single LED or a single pixel on your monitor. So this red one will have some information, some bit pattern information for it, which will link with all of the LED lights on your monitor. For example, this red here might be, so let's represent those values in hexadecimal numbers. So we know red is going to be quite high, so let's make red, for example, FF, which is representing 255, which, as I said, is setting the binary pattern to all ones. Its blue value is going to be, let's say, for example, 0.3. So we're going to add just a little bit of blue into it. So this is going to convert directly into 3, which is going to give us 0.0000011 for the blue value, and for the green, let's just set that to 0 like so. So we have 0.0000000, which is a 0 value in decimal numbers. So when this pixel here is sent to this pixel on your monitor, the red LED light will be at its highest intensity, just like you can see here on this example. The blue will turn on just a little bit to mix with the red, and the green will be turned to black like this because it's a 0 value. Those LED lights together will combine and will create this pixel in the picture. And the same thing will happen to this blue pixel over here in the next set of LED lights on your monitor, and the same for the one underneath, and the same for this section over here. So this image will be mapped to your LED lights on your monitor, and each LED light will use the binary patterns to control, or the operating system does this, of course, but the intensity of each LED light, how bright it is, will be controlled by the bit patterns in your file, in the image file. So that data is controlling how much the LED lights on your monitor are turned up to display the image in your computer. Okay, and this white one here will of course be FF, FF, FF. So all the R, G, B, I've made a slight mistake here, mixed the blue and green around, but that doesn't really matter in this case. It's the same concept. I just noticed that now. But what will happen for a white pixel is all 3 of the LED lights will be turned to their full intensity, which, as you can see here in this example on the top right hand corner, will produce the white light. And I'll leave it up to you to take an educated guess what you need to do to all 3 of them to represent the black color. Alright, see you in the next video where we will talk about bitmaps.